Good evening, hope you're all having a good Friday. Just a brief request for some general support. It's not the most important thing, but it would be incredible. I was on a flight, and it's not often I'm on a flight, but I was on a flight on the 2nd of November 2023 from Heathrow to Fiumicino, a lone, disabled female of ethnic minority on my very first and very last solo trip, and I tried my utmost to save as many pennies as possible by even living in hostels and taking the cheapest possible flight, and I was only there 2 nights. At 12:40 p.m, or rather I should say on the 12:40 p.m. flight to Fiumicino Airport, just as the plane landed, there was a white, British, southern accented, bold white male between the ages, he looked around between 50 to 60, drunkard on the plane. And long story short, I don't know him, he doesn't know me, I didn't even see him. How he even saw my face, I don't know, because I was facing the front of the plane. He was sat directly behind me. I was sat between a couple, specifically a male, gay, white couple. I wasn't aware that you're allowed to change seats or sit somewhere where you feel more comfortable, because they kept touching each other. I'm sat there in the middle, so you can imagine how uncomfortable it was. Disabled. At the time I used to even wear my sunflower lanyard, which I don't wear anymore. And amongst a plethora of horrible things that happened to me on that entire journey to and from Rome, a place I'll never travel to again, a place which has completely gone out of my dream destinations or good books, a place that has completely let me down. And like a good person called Erica from Italy actually said, even as a white Italian lady, she told me that one of the reasons she left her country is because it's quite racist, and they're very stubborn and stuck up, and I can completely agree with her. So anyway, bear in mind, 28 years old at the time, never travelled on my own, really looking forward to a solo trip, travelling. I was at university at the time before the violation, or rather I should say during the violation, which I did not know was going to turn into such a further disaster. It was not too long after my birthday. It was what I call half term. So yeah, I thought ideal time. It's autumn. I've always wanted to go to Rome. I'm really interested in the history of Rome. It's just one of those destinations that are quite popular. And I thought, I'm adult, I'm old enough, I've got the student finance as well, so I thought, let me go, let me just book this for myself and go. I went, I did the brave thing, no support, no one to call, no one to text, no one to email, no one to reach out to, no safety contacts, nothing, didn't tell anyone. Not even the lecturers, not the bitchy lecturers at the uni either. On that flight, as it was landing, the white, bold, male, grumpy drunkard, completely uncalled for, makes comments such as, delicious, isn't she? And then he goes, these people have nothing, I know, I saw you, moving away. Sorry, that was my very failed attempt at doing a southern accent whilst I'm very unwell. No one stood up for me. I specifically remember he was a bold white male looking very angry. Next to him was his partner, a black lady with braided hair. She was just nodding along, smiling, laughing, singing, humming. As a woman of colour, I'm very disappointed that she didn't speak up on my behalf or for me. Very disappointed in her too. She's just as bad as the white male for not saying anything. And what you have to understand is that interaction, right? You might not think it's a massive deal, but ever since it's happened, ever since he said those words, ever since it happened, and bear in mind it is the 25th of July 2025 today, and the flight was on the 2nd of November 2023, so it's been quite a while. And to this day, no matter how many days, weeks, months, years have passed, no matter how many other violations have occurred against me, no matter how distressed I am with other issues, and it's not on the top of my list of priorities to try and fix. It's not like I'm going to go to citizens advice or anything for it. I must admit, it's a trauma. It's something that, literally as soon as I wake up, when I go to sleep, even in my nightmares, I think about what happened that day. Because I didn't know this person, he doesn't know me. I was fully dressed, I had a face full of makeup. At the time I had hair colour changed as well. Hair had been straightened, neatly, perfect. I hadn't dressed in a way that was necessarily flamboyant or anything. I was wearing neutral beige colours, had my glasses on, had my makeup on, had my, I didn't have that much luggage either or anything like that. And I just question to this day, why did he feel the need to voice that opinion? What made him think that it's okay to even think that way, never mind verbalise it? And why did nobody there on the plane, neither anyone of colour nor white people, a male or nor female or any other, stand up? And I mean, even the flight attendants that were there, why did not one of them speak up and say, do you know what, that's out of order, you can apologise, or that's racist, or that's completely out of line, which it is. Anybody, especially those who are of colour and of my ethnicity, you can fully agree it's not acceptable. Had that been said about a black person, a mixed race person, a Chinese person, or of course a white person, there would have been uproar, there would have been social media posts about it. It happened to me. Not one person to this day has supported me. I even sent emails to British Airways just stating that this incident, during which none of their staff even intervened or anything, even though it was very loud. And by the way, he brought his own alcohol on the plane as well, which is really trampy in my opinion. And yeah, no one seemed to say anything to him about that as well. All I'm going to say is there's no excuse. It's racist, it's lookist, it's sexist, it's disgusting. And also the irony is, from what I remember, he was absolutely hideous himself. So for him to make comments about a young woman's appearance, especially a disabled ethnic minority lone young woman's appearance, who he doesn't know, who I don't know, it's just completely unacceptable. And just to try and identify and locate who this guy was, so who sat directly behind me, and my 1 minute. I'm struggling to find my flight number, but also another point I quickly want to make is I genuinely, definitely did request disability mobility assistance. I have fibromyalgia and I have severe anxiety, and these are diagnosed, and I specifically asked for some support. It was never provided, and I was wearing my sunflower lanyard at the time, which I don't wear anymore because I find that people still don't be more mindful. But I'm trying to look at my flight, my ticket number, or rather my seat number. Obviously this was a while ago, so it's not fresh in my memory. But anyway, I'm going to keep this under 10 minutes. But what I would be incredibly grateful for is, by the grace of God, somehow, and I am a big believer in truth coming out, like there's been so many examples of in recent months for other individuals and groups. I'm a big believer that you get what you give, and whoever this person is, I don't know his name, I don't know his background, I don't know his address, I don't know his details, other than the fact that he said these things and he behaved in this way and it's unacceptable. By the grace of God, I pray in the name of Jesus that this man is publicly exposed, and that it will emerge that he was indeed the person sat behind me on the flight to Rome in November 2023. With the grace of God, in the name of Jesus, this is done. Amen.